Is $1 million enough to retire in 2023? This depends on various factors, some more than others. In the past, someone with a $1 million portfolio would easily have enough income to retire. They would have plenty of money to pay for housing, food, healthcare, transportation, and take nice vacations when desired. However, $1 million has a fraction of the buying power it had for previous generations. Some people might not even find that it would produce enough income without having to make some major sacrifices, such as continuing to work to some extent. That's not to say you couldn't retire comfortably with $1 million, but there are some key things to consider. By addressing some extremely important influences, you can stretch $1 million surprisingly far. My name is Chris, and I help teach people about money, personal finance, and investing. If you want to become financially free and not have to worry about money, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you find it helpful. $1 million sounds like a lot of money, but how much income will a $1 million portfolio produce? There's no exact science to determine the precise amount of annual income, but experts recommend using a 4% withdrawal rate. By only withdrawing 4% of your portfolio value each year, it's extremely unlikely that you'd ever run out of money. Using the 4% withdrawal rule, retirees can withdraw 4% of their total portfolio value the first year during retirement and make adjustments for inflation for each subsequent year. Assuming a 4% safe withdrawal rate, you would receive $40,000 per year in income. This guideline is based on historical stock and bond market performance, which is always being updated. Some people recommend using a 3% or even 5% withdrawal rate depending on things like expected length of retirement. You might decide to withdraw a different amount, but 4% is a widely accepted rule of thumb. You wouldn't think a millionaire would need to rely on Social Security, but it could actually be a large chunk of their annual income during retirement. The average benefit is almost $1,700 per month, or $20,328 per year, according to the Social Security Administration. That equates to over 50% of the income one would receive from a $1 million portfolio. Depending on your income over the course of your career, your benefit will be higher or lower. You can get an idea of how much you could expect to receive by going to the Social Security Administration website. Some people don't like the idea of having to rely on Social Security at all for various reasons, but it's a reality for most people, and it could be a large amount of income, even for a millionaire. The amount you receive is based on how much you paid into the program, so your historical annual earnings and the number of years spent working will influence your benefits. In addition, it depends on what age you decide to take the benefits. You can begin taking them at age 62, but the longer you wait up until age 70, the more you will receive. Those who want to retire early at a young age will need to do so without Social Security income. How much you will receive from Social Security will greatly impact your annual income during retirement. A single person with $1 million saved for retirement would receive about $40,000 per year from their investments using the 4% safe withdrawal rule. Assuming they receive the average Social Security benefit, this brings their total annual income to just about $60,000 per year. If the person were married, their spouse would also likely receive Social Security income. Assuming they also receive an average amount, as a couple, they're bringing in about $80,000 per year. This means the couple is receiving about half of their annual income from Social Security, and half is generated by investments. Even for people with a $1 million portfolio, Social Security income can be a big influence. Without it, a couple would be relying on $40,000 per year alone. Still possible, albeit much more difficult. How will your income be taxed during retirement? If you're lucky enough to have $1 million in a Roth IRA where the taxes have already been paid, the entirety of your distributions are yours to keep. This is a big relief for retirees because they don't need to worry about tax brackets, changing tax rates, and other variables. More likely, you have most of your money held in a traditional IRA or a 401k where the taxes have not yet been paid. This means the amount you withdraw during retirement will be taxed at ordinary income rates. Thankfully, if you're only withdrawing $40,000 per year and have no other income sources, the tax liability will be fairly low. Money held in a taxable brokerage account will be subject to capital gains tax, which ranges from 0% all the way up to 20%. Someone retiring with $1 million will likely be on the lower end of that. If there's one expense you need to take seriously, it's your housing. This is a crucial consideration no matter where you are in your financial journey. The single expense greatly impacting your finances before and during retirement is where you live. How much are you paying to keep a roof over your head? With housing consuming the largest portion of the average budget, how much you're spending here is crucially important. The little old couple who paid their mortgage off years ago and is kept up with routine maintenance has a very low housing expense when compared to someone still paying a mortgage on a large home in addition to a large amount of upkeep, heating or cooling bills, and taxes. A modest, paid-off home could be the key to a comfortable retirement. Let's say you own an average price home of about $430,000. Your expenses consist of property tax, insurance, utilities, regular maintenance, and large improvements such as a roof replacement. With average property taxes of about 1%, this is about $358 per month. Average home insurance is about $1,820 per year, or $152 per month according to NerdWallet. Expect to spend $4,800 per year or $400 per month on utilities. As far as maintenance and capital expenditures, this can vary greatly depending on the size of your home and its age, but 2% of your home's value each year is a good starting point. On average, this would be about $8,600 per year. That might seem like a lot, but included in this figure is routine painting, landscaping, snow removal, appliance repairs or replacement, and an allowance for expensive items that will need to be eventually replaced. This could be your furnace, AC, roof, windows, kitchen, and so on, which don't necessarily show up in monthly costs, yet still need to be accounted for. In total, someone in an average home should expect to spend about $1,600 per month in housing-related costs, even if they own it outright. Many older people failed to accurately predict long-term costs of owning a home, and their property's condition reflects that. There are a few ways to reduce your housing costs to avoid being completely house poor, spending a large amount of your income on paying for a place to live. First, don't buy or rent more house than you need. The concept sounds incredibly basic, but as the average home size continues to grow, more and more people seem to overlook this critical notion. Second, pay off your mortgage before retiring to reduce your housing costs as much as possible. Even though the mortgage payment is only a portion of the overall cost of owning a home and you'll still be responsible for the many other costs of homeownership, it can still be substantial. Lastly, consider creative housing options that will eliminate your housing costs. This could consist of owning a multi-family home and renting out other units, having an in-law apartment, a roommate, or renting out an accessory dwelling unit or other space in a creative way. Sharing your space to some degree is scoffed at by many, but the financial benefit of sharing your property can be huge. So, could you retire with $1 million in retirement savings? It will likely depend heavily on if you're able to collect Social Security and what your housing costs are. It's possible to live very comfortably on a portfolio that size, but there are other crucial pieces to the puzzle. Being wise with your expenses, especially the large ones like housing, and finding ways to reduce them as much as possible will greatly increase the amount you can spend. Maximizing Social Security benefits also makes a big difference. You could be very comfortable with a $1 million nest egg, especially when you make the most of other influences.